What is going on, geeks? UTC here, back in your life with another episode of Ark Building Evolved, and I'm just doing some finishing touches on the Atrium that we worked on last episode. So let's go ahead and take these out. Let me get my crossbow back and you guys can get a look at what we're dealing with. I'm just trying to add some decoration. People said you need something on the walls. It's going to look too boring. And I think that could work. It could add a little bit of detail. I'm liking it. So I also went ahead and added this guy, since we do have a bit of a pond feel going on. I feel like he fits right in. I am going to try laying out this little strip of stone railings. When we eventually add a paint job to this place, it's going to look good. One thing I was thinking is, I wonder if we're going to be able to run the railings across and then take this out. I don't think that's going to work. I think they'll collapse, right? Okay, so let's try it. Maybe like that. Now let's try. Oh, okay. Maybe. Oh, I think we could do something with that. Okay, so let me take this on, guys. Let me do this little strip around the outside. We're gonna add a hint of detail to the place, and then we are gonna spend this episode and possibly the next working on this area. In between the atrium, we did in episode 14, and the gardens we did in episode 13. Go back and watch them if you're brand new. Links for every episode in the whole dang series are in the description of every episode in the whole dang series, so go check them out. So the one thing I'm thinking when we do get to this area is I think I want to strip back this row of foundations as much as possible for the build. At some point, it's going to be impossible to have, like right there might be the point where we're going to have a strip of foundations and come down with a ramp. But let me do a little bit of detail work in here, and I will be back with you guys in just a sec. And there you have it. Pretty good. I'm pretty happy with the way that turned out. Now, it's not perfect. There are some spots, especially in the corners, where it got funky every time, and I'm not sure why, but when you get into the final steps of a build, detail bits like this, I don't worry quite as much. As long as the structural integrity of this thing is legit and the whole build isn't out of whack, I'm happy. So we know we're coming up to this level here. I want to see, I'm going to get some stone foundations. Alright guys, so I've got some stone foundations, and my goal is to see how far back we can go on this level. And the first spot that it's going to clip into the ground, I'm going to go ahead and do ramps like we did on the other side. I think it's going to work out okay. I think I'll be able to do this whole row. You know what? I might have to break this rock. Give me a sec. Okay, so these are unbreakable. So we're going to have to either ramp over them or leave them in place. And we're starting to get to that point. It might be ramp time. We'll see. Yeah, I think it is. So I think what we're going to have to do is go ahead and put this in here. And then we're going to decide, do we do Adobe to come down? I think stone might be the answer. And obviously there's not a ramp. So what we're going to do is grab sloped stone roofs. Alright guys, now we can come across like this, and whoops, where the hell did that go? Let's not worry about it. So, over the last few episodes, guys, we've really been exploring this building style, this Roman building style, and I think we're going to be kind of trying to wrap up what we've been working on. So, here's what I'm looking at. I'm going to have to transition from the gardens down here, and then this area is going to be our living quarters. The one thing I know for sure I want to do is come along here and do window frames right up here. Let's get ourselves up there. Boom. Okay, so I want to do window frames along here, and maybe inside out ones. I think we're going to do a bunch of the walls with the inside out texture for this living quarters. I kind of need to get myself started to get a feel for this, guys. So it's not one that I can kind of take you through step by step. I knew how to build the atrium. I knew how to build the gardens. This is improvisation. Improvisation? I don't know how to pronounce that word today. Let me do a little bit of work. I'm going to take these Adobe window frames. I'm going to start seeing what I can come up with, and I'll be back with you guys in a minute. All right. I think that is the beginning of something, guys. And I think these ceilings do not need to be here. I put them here temporarily. And I think what I'm going to do next is, and we need to do something with this guy. So let's see. I think I'm going to need the S plus to get it where I want it. So let's do that. Flip you inside out. So it took some serious fandangling, but things are coming together up here. I think we can take out these stone ceilings. They were pretty unnecessary. Now, the one thing that worries me... Okay, at least it's the same on both sides. So what I want to do is grab... Would it be this one? No, this one, right? Perfect. And I'll go do the same over here. Like that. And then I need some sloped roofs, and we're going to have a look and see how this looks, because this is the beginning of this upper portion of the house, and this is how I was hoping it would come together. I like that. I like it already. So let's run this all the way across, and I wanted to do this before we got anywhere, because this is going to bring us, as far as I can tell, yeah, in line with that side. So I have some working out to do of this house and the designs, and I think... the next step, get me down here. I think the next step is walls, and lots of walls. I'm probably going to be doing it exactly like we did the rest of the house, where I come here, snap it like that, and I come here, flip it inside out, and do that. And then if you're doing this, build up one side first, and it'll make your life easy, like that, and then come to the other side and do it like this. So what I'm picturing is this as the living quarters, right? One thing that we could definitely use is an entrance. Now, Roman houses rarely had a big, kind of gaudy entrance. It was usually sort of like, you'd have something here, and this is perfect too wide. Maybe I could include a gate just inside, but what you'd have is something that kind of brings you in to the house through a little arch on the side. Now, an arch is going to be a pain, and it's probably something I can't really do. I guess I could do upside-down sloped walls, but I think before I get to that, I'm going to come down and I'm going to do walls all the way around this side of the house just to get a feel for it. And I'll come back to you guys once I've done that. And then together, maybe we'll work on adding an entrance here. And once we have, we'll consider adding the roof over top of the living quarters. So I'm going to be back with you in just a sec. All right, geeks, take a look at this. I went and built up the walls at the same height as we finished over there. They are double height, and we have two things we need to work on over the next little while. We need to design an entrance, some sort of foyer or hall that you can enter into here. I'm thinking there'll be a little gate on either side, a gate, or we'll figure it out. And then under here is going to be the living quarters. I haven't figured out the interior yet, but I know we need a sort of elaborate villa-style roof up top. And part of this we may actually make open. I haven't decided yet, but this place is looking really good, and I want to continue working on it. The problem for me is, just like last episode, I need to take a break in the middle. I've been playing since super early this morning, and it's time for me to go to work. So I'm going to have to continue this construction after I get back from work. So we're going to take a break. Geeks, thank you for hanging out for this chunk of the build. I'm looking forward to hanging out with you for the second half. Remember, if you haven't done it yet, click the like button and hit me up in the comments with your ideas, your suggestions on what we can work on next. Because after this, I think we may have had our fill of this Roman style building. I think we may want to move on to something a little bit different. But I'm looking forward to hearing what you guys are in the mood to see. So talk to me, and I will be back with you guys very, very soon. And welcome back, guys. So another day for me, and I want to continue work on this place. I keep tweaking this spot. I just came through and did stone through here, and because we have these double layered walls, you get what looks like Adobe on the other side. I think that could work. It's still a work in progress. We added these railings last time. I like how they turned out. But today's project, at least the beginning of today's project, involves starting off with the entranceway. And I've been doing... Whoops. Okay. Been doing a little bit of research. Let's put that up there. What I want to do is take this sort of one-by-one pillar thing that we've done a few times throughout the build, and I want to do it here on this side and on this side. And what I'm thinking is we'll be able to recess a gate in there, but I think to get myself started, I need a bunch of Adobe walls. And you guys have seen me now quite a few times build the double layered walls, and to build these little, whatchamacallit, these little pillars. So I want to get myself started with that, and I'm going to go ahead and do that on this side and on this side, take a look at what we've got. So from the outside, these big pillars aren't entirely obvious. From the inside, they are, and they're going to add some stability. One thing I'm thinking is we may extend this one more this way and have the ramps come out over here, but I haven't quite figured that out yet. So the one thing I wanted to play around with, guys, is some of these gates. So I've got the stone and the Adobe gateways, and then I've got wood reinforced and Adobe gates, and we're going to play around with a few options. Now before I get there, let's take a look, and I'm sure we do. Yeah, let's get some stone ceilings on the bar, and let's get these S+ sloped walls. Now I've been generally using the vanilla sloped walls, but one of the cool things about let's do this. One of the cool things about the S+ version is that you can hang them upside down. So let's pull my hotbar up, and those are what, 5? So let's see. Yeah, we can do this. Now what I think we may want to do is, to keep it all in line with everything else we've got here, is let's boom. Now let's hop up here. Oh, why do I have too many snap points with that? Oh, because I got all these extra walls. Let's just try that for now, and we'll see. I may need to find the outer one, but I think I will, to get this the way I want. So we're going to go up here. You know what? Okay. I'm not liking what we've got here. So let's take this down, and let's go ahead and try doing it like this, where we build off the wall that we're actually going to be using. Alright, and that should snap there. And like that. Okay, so now let's try this one. And if I flip that inside out... Ooh, that doesn't even line up, does it? Okay, let's try the other one. Nope. Oh, interesting. Okay, so what I would want is for it to be perfectly in line with this wall here. So that may take some playing around, because it doesn't seem to be doing what I want it to do. Okay, let me play around with it, guys. When I find the solution, I will come back and I will let you know. I think I finally found it, guys. So I went up and I built the walls all the way up from this angle, and I think it's right there. Okay, now can I take this out? That's almost perfect. Wow, why does it not line quite up? Maybe because that's structures plus and the walls are not? Okay, well either way, this is probably what we're going to want going for us. And if I take you out, okay, now I think before I take out the walls underneath, I'm going to want to go ahead and put ceilings over top. So let's try that. Alright guys, so this is giving me a hell of a time. No matter what I do, I have this weird little gap up there that's kind of wrecking the look that I'm going for, and I haven't figured out the best way to deal with it. So one option is this: put the gate frame right in there, and go with either this version or this version. My original plan was to actually have the gate set back, so that it was sort of a recessed entrance like that. But that, I don't know if that's going to do anything for us. We might be better off playing around like this, just using the gates to form our entrances, because that didn't go exactly how I planned. I think the stone is going to end up being the one we want. And the question is, do we just do one? I think that's probably the right answer. I need more gates. Alright guys, so this is still a work in progress. I keep running into weird issues, and we can take this out and have a look with these little gaps right here. So I haven't determined exactly why that's happening. We've got these really unusual double thick walls around this whole build, and I'm sure that's part of the issue. Actually, let's use Adobe ceiling. So one thing I'm thinking about, I have structures plus stone foundations, and or stone railings, and I may be able to do this if I find all the right snap points. I don't know if that's it. Let's try. Yep. There we go, guys. So it's taken a little bit of playing around to get it the way I was hoping it would look. And it's still not perfect. What I think I'm going to do is take out this one here, and if I can do it properly, this one here, and I'm just going to leave those two in. It begins to solve some of the issues we had. The other thing that might solve it is some pillars. So I'm going to grab these stone pillars. I'm going to see about, yeah, putting one there. And, oh, come on. All right, tuck one in there, tuck one up there. And that does solve most of the issues we were looking at. It's still not quite perfect. And what I'm thinking is we'll follow this up by putting a gate on the other side. And I'm going to go back to the stone gateway. So let's go ahead and do that. And we'll see how this looks. I think the reinforced gate is going to be the one that's going to look the best for us. So, yeah, that could work. Okay, reinforced gate. Okay, now these are going to be in the way. I think I could get rid of them. And could I get rid of this too? I think I could. Okay, so that could definitely work. And let's take out you and you. Okay. Okay. So maybe that's going to work. I feel like that is. The one thing we may want to do, let's actually try this. I have more railings. Let's get more railings. All right, and I think that's going to do the trick. Let's take this out. Those are pretty much in line. Okay. So we could end up using this part as a balcony up there. It's still not quite perfect, but I think it's going to work for us. So this entrance was a ton of fiddling around, more than I actually intended it to be. So what I want to do, guys, is go put some work in on the other side, and hopefully you were able to follow along enough and I didn't have to cut too much of that nonsense out. So let's go ahead and head inside, and I'm going to put these on manual, and let's do this. Alright, so I'm going to try and recreate this on this side. If I manage to do a whole lot better than I did on the other, I'll be back, but it's going to be a lot of fiddling, so let me get to work. Alright, there we go, guys. Not the easiest thing I've done, and I'm not sure if I even love it, but for now, it's going to work for us. So what I have to do for this next stage of the build is some improvisation. I need to figure out what we're going to do next, and I think... like I said, I'm going to come back through here with stone foundations and move the ramps a little further out. So here's the work in progress, guys. What I'm thinking is we're going to end up with... I haven't decided if these are going to stay stone or not. We might do stone ceilings on top, Adobe walls along the sides like this, just so it all blends in. But what I'm thinking is we're going to have two more pillars. Offset, and I think what I want is this to open into a small open area, and then we'll just have this over here for living quarters. I want to keep it small, so I'm picturing sort of like, it's not a garden, it's not an atrium, it's more of just an, oh, by the way, how cute is that frog? It's more of just like an open courtyard. So why don't I show you what I'm thinking here. Let's take these out, and I'm not double layering at the moment. So I'm just going to do that, and then we could always come on top and take a couple of our stone roofs, go here and here, so that we get, I might have to, are these the regular ones? I might have to play around and get them at just the perfect height, because those are not quite right. So I'm going to use the Structures Plus ones, because they should sit in line with the foundations if I do it right. Let's actually get down here and do it. Like that. Perfect. So what I'm thinking is it'll be one continuous thing of Adobe from down here. These are going to be like little balconies that overlook the courtyard, and then I want to build up from there. I'm not sure how high these pillars will go, but let me go ahead and do this next step, and I'll be right back with you guys. Alright, so here's what I'm currently looking at, guys. It's starting to come together. So what I think I want to do next is try some sloped Adobe roofs, and we're going to begin to get a feel for the overhang that I have in mind for over this courtyard. And I can already sense this being a monster episode. I know I'm trying to accomplish a lot, so if I cut away from chunks of this, please don't stress, because this is a complicated build, and there's no way I can show you every step of the journey. So let me do my thing. I'm gonna keep working on this, and what I want to do next is potentially window frames across the top of here. So I haven't figured out exactly how that'll work, and I haven't figured out, do we do this? Let's go down and take a look. I think we might not do that. I think we may Okay, I think I'm getting a feel for it. Let me take the next step on myself, and I will be right back, guys. Alright, guys, so I'm starting to get a feel for this. So, I'm thinking window frames, and I'm thinking, ideally, we're doing them inside out like we have in the past. Is that going to look good? I think this is going to look great, actually, the more that I look at it. So, let's go ahead and get ourselves set up by doing these across. And this is one of the looks that I've captured every time I've done a build in Adobe, is a sort of row of windows above some sloped roofs. And then if you can finish that off with more sloped roofs on top, the build can really come together and get a really unique look. So let's do this. And guys, I gotta say, I love this game, but I've picked, like, I love that I've developed a following for building in Ark, and that you guys have found some real value coming here every few times a week to watch my builds. But could I have picked a worse game to build in? This building system is so funky. I just wish people had watched me play Minecraft, where building is easy and fairly straightforward. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay, so what I want to do is give ourselves a little bit of this. And actually, yeah, we'll worry about that later. So we may actually do something coming out of there. I haven't figured it out yet. But let's go ahead and take a look from the other side. And we'll have to figure out what we do. Yeah, okay, so maybe we try... Okay, I have one thought in mind. Ooh, am I going to be able to make that work? I don't think I am. Let's just try this for now. I think we got something going here, guys. I think what I want to do is take what we've got on this side and mirror it on this side, but I have to figure out the dimensions. I have to figure out how big this little courtyard is. I think it may just be too wide, and we'll see what kind of space that creates for us on the other side. I'm going to take a break in the video, and for myself as well. I'm going to make a cup of coffee and start to get a feel for what I'm doing here. Alright guys, so that is how we're looking. I have gone ahead and added this over here, and what we're going to do is try and mimic the look we have on this side to some extent. I haven't figured out exactly what we're going to do. And up top here, I went and expanded things up, and I went and expanded these little balconies, and I'm starting to get a feel for how we're going to be able to incorporate them. Here, get this here. Let's do some parkour action. I said parkour action. Boom. So I'm starting to get a feel for how we'll be able to incorporate them. I think we're going to have a big layer, big story up above here. But last time I mentioned potential monster episode, and I'm starting to feel this isn't a one episode job. I got a lot left to do. So what we need to do is build up a space above this grand hall, and something that's going to look good from the garden side and from the courtyard side. And then we also need to build and roof in the living quarters, which are going to be between those pillars and these pillars. So I think I'm going to take another episode. I'm going to end another episode. Guys, thank you for hanging out. I'm UniteTheClans. If you are brand new to this, I'm going to put up a playlist for this build, because you're tuning in on the part 3 of this giant Roman villa. Part 2, we did that, the Atrium. Come down here, take a look. Pretty epic. And in part 1 we did these Roman gardens. So we have a lot more to do, and I think this is going to be a 4-part build, which is probably the biggest build we've done in this series, and I'm digging it. So guys, check out the playlist. It's popping up on your screen right now, as is a link to my Patreon. I got a bunch of great rewards for the people who support me over on Patreon, so consider checking it out. And guys, I will be back in your life with another episode as soon as I possibly can.